Hey, what's up, YouTube? Your host, King Gio. You know, for the past few months and the past few years, we have been hearing about how drugs are coming out of the South, how drugs are coming from the South, how the Mexicans are importing fentanyl into this country, and this is something that it's been reported by just the Republican Party. And I'm to the point that I'm getting very irritated because not just the Republican, but everyone who was involved. You know, back in the '80s, they gave people life sentences because they were having a certain amount of marijuana in their possession, and to this day, there are still people in prison because of those sentences. Those sentences have not been commuted. They have not been exonerated. They have not been pardoned. Nothing like that. And we're talking about marijuana, which is nothing. Now you see people with fentanyl in 500 bags or 500 pounds of fentanyl, 500, and they go to jail and they come out in a month or two or a year or two, like nothing happened. I can say this for a fact because I have a brother who passed away from fentanyl 2 years ago while he was in rehab. Could you imagine that? And I'm doing these videos because I want you guys to know, when you vote, I want you to vote for the right person, not because the left or right could be, but I want you to start thinking about. I want you to start thinking about something, and this is serious. You're getting too caught up in the idea that fentanyl or drugs are just coming from South America. They're just coming from the border. They're coming from Mexico. And if you believe that, then you're oblivious to the world. You're oblivious. You let these people in the right wing tell you what's going on. But let me tell you what's going on. Drugs come from everywhere. They come from Mexico. They come from Bolivia. They come from Colombia. They come from Puerto Rico. They come from everywhere. Not it's produced in one place, but it's scattered all over the world. So stop thinking that fentanyl is only coming through Mexico. Fentanyl is coming through Canada. It's coming through the Caribbean. It's coming through California. It gets here, not just through the Mexicans, but it gets here. But the thing that gets me angry the most is that you have all these politicians talking about how fentanyl is destroying this country, both Republicans and Democrats, how fentanyl is destroying this country, but yet not one has stood out and said, you know what, we're going to change the law. We're going to, if I was congressman, I would set up a law that I would give anyone who gets caught with fentanyl life. Simple. Just life. You have people, like I said, you have people in prison for life for marijuana. Give them life. And my second priority, which should be my first priority, is that no senator, no congressman, not even no TikToker, no YouTuber, nobody has talked about let's help the addicts. How can we help the addicts, like those addicts in Kensington, Pennsylvania? How do we help those that are in your community? How do we help those who are in my community? How do we step up? How do we help them? Because it is them that we gotta help. The war on drugs will continue. It's been going on for years, and it will continue on for years because they will always bring it in. Always, no matter what. You catch 2 kilos, 3 kilos, 3 kilos there. You catch 40 kilos here. While you're catching 40 kilos here, like 60 to 70 kilos is coming in somewhere else. Because they're not stupid. They know that one of their bags is going to get caught. And once their bags get caught, 3 or 4 other bags go coming through another way. And that's the way the drug war works. You send 4 mules, 2 of them gets caught, but the other 2 brings in the other ones. Because the cops are only looking for 2. That's the way it works. But we're thinking about that it's just happening in the south of the border, but it's happening everywhere, right? America is not just plagued with fentanyl. The world in general is plagued with fentanyl, and we have to get stiffer sentences. And the most important thing is that we have to get these people help. We have to take them away from the streets and put them in a rehab center, even if it means violating their rights, and put them in there. Okay? If you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, you stop talking about how drugs are coming in and start talking about how are we as a nation, are we going to help our brothers and sisters to rehab? How are we going to help them get them off drugs and alcohol? How are we going to do that so they can become the person that they were before or better? So they can take care of their kids, so they can get a job, they can get a house, so they can be a productive member of society, and they can feel good for themselves. Or you're just going to keep on letting them rot in jail, or letting them rot in the streets, let them take their lives away because it's not your problem, but yet it's not your problem, but yet you like to talk about it. You like to blame people. You like to point fingers. You like to, oh, Donald Trump is the best. Oh, Joe Biden is the best, but not none. Let's talk about, let's rehab these young men and women. Let's rehab these men and women who have been in alcohol, who have been who are in drugs. That they don't say. Do you see them say that? No, not Biden, not Trump, not Clinton, not Barack, not Bush, not Reagan, none. They say we're going to fight the war on drugs. Forget about fighting the war on drugs, and let's start getting these young men and women the help that they need. And if their civil rights need to be violated because it's for their health, then so be it. Then so be it. Because we need to help these young men and women who are out there, who are suffering, who are being treated into sex slaves, who are turning tricks for money because they have a pimp, because they can't go back home. This needs to end. And like I said, the war on drugs is not going to end. It can diminish a little bit, but it will not end. It will come from somewhere. But we need, my most important priority is having those addicts cleaned, getting those alcoholics sober. That's what I want to do. And that's what I want the senator of North Carolina. That's what I want the president of the United States. And that's what I want the senators of all states, of all 50 states, to start putting in new provisions, setting new laws as to these fentanyls. Fentanyl has to get off the street, and those who are selling fentanyl, they gotta get off the street too, because that is a powerful drug. And yes, you are willing to take it. So some people say, well, he's a grown man or he's a grown woman. Let them do what they want, and if they get fentanyl, they get fentanyl. Yeah, you could do that. But that's one less life that's in this world. That person that with the right rehabilitation can become something of him or herself, can learn to give himself self-love. For those who think, and those who think that, oh, why should we help them? They're all drug addicts. We shouldn't help them. Well, shame on you, because we should help everybody. Doesn't matter what they did before or what they're doing now. We should be helping people out. People who get caught with fentanyl should go to prison for life. And I'm saying life, because they know what they're doing. And yes, every grown up has their choices of either injecting or drinking, whatever the case may be. That's their choice. But once they're roaming the streets and they look like zombies, then they got no choice They got their rights, but they got no choice. Put them in the car, send them to rehab, and make sure that person does a 7 to 14. And for those who need it longer, 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, or a year. And you will see how these people, how these young men and women in the street be smoking, how the drug use of the country will go down. But you won't get this done with the Democrats and Republicans fighting for unnecessary things. When we could be fighting for real things. Raising the minimum wage, universal health care. Okay? We should have child care for people women who want to work, but they can't work because they got no child care. That's what we need to be focusing about. Not about what the drugs are coming from here, or that Joe Biden sleeps, that we're going to investigate Hunter Biden. No, man, that's irrelevant. We need to save our streets. We need to save our young men and women who are using or who are stopped using. Okay, that's what we need to do. Stop bickering to one another. Oh, the Republicans doing this. The gas prices are up because of the Republicans. And if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it. But let's put into play. Let's put that legislation there and say all fentanyl drug users, you get caught, you will do life in prison. Plain and simple. You can't be messing with people's lives, even though those are the lives that they choose. That's only because they clouded. And they're ungenerous too. It's our job as human beings to put them back in their car and take them wherever it is going to take them to rehab. And let them know you'll be there in 10 days when he comes out. Even though they need longer, depending on the situation, but they need longer. You stay an extra 2 days until they pick you up. That's what I would do. Let's start talking about the homeless. Let's start talking about how we can help them. How are we going to stop them from feeding this junk to the homeless? And where are the homeless getting their money from? That's simple.